Welcome to the Increda-dental podcast. I'm your host, Alicia Flynn. Our goal is to make a positive impact in the dental field. I have been a dental assistant, a biller, an office manager, a scheduler, a hygienist, and a dental coach, which makes me your biggest fan. My husband was in the military and we traveled all over the United States. I had opportunities to work in many different practices, and I saw incredible practices and practices that had a lot of potential within them. Thank you for joining us. Let's dive into the podcast. Welcome to the Increda-dental podcast. Today we have a very special guest. We have Ashley Stednitz, and she's from Cherry Financing. They have done an amazing job helping patients and practices in need to help patients move forward with the treatment they stand in need of. Now, I know we always have lots of questions for them, so we're going to dive into some of those questions. But first, Ashley's going to give a touch of her background, letting us know her knowledge and understanding of the dental industry, because that speaks volumes of where she stands. Go ahead, Ashley. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes, thank you so much, Alicia. I appreciate being here with you today. So I have actually been in dentistry for 17 years. I was an office manager, treatment coordinator, dental hygienist. I was an assistant for 9 years as well. So I've done a plethora of things in dentistry. I actually moved on over to Cherry because I had personally seen success with Cherry, and I wanted to make sure that as many patients as possible were able to get healthy financing to make sure that they could get healthier, right? And get the treatment done that they need. I think that everyone deserves to have good health. So it's super important to me.
Yes. And I love how you said that. Everyone deserves to have good health. And they sometimes just need the opportunity to have good health, because too often they tell themselves, I can't afford it. I'm not worth it. I'm not a good investment. And having this platform that you're at provides them with that opportunity to see, yes, I can be in health and I can fit it in my means and my budget. So that's fabulous. And I love your background of your experience. So thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate you being here. So let's start out from the beginning. How long does it take to set up Cherry in an office for a practice like that?
You got it. So the total amount of time to get started with us is about 1 hour and 5 minutes. So
no way.
It's super fast. Yep, you got it. So we do a quick 15 to 20 minute demo with the office just to make sure it's a good fit, go over those merchant fees. They create an account, which literally takes them 5 minutes. We just ask basic business information, owner information, where they want us to deposit the funds. And then we sign the team up for about a 45-minute Zoom training. So we have white glove service. We take a team approach. So we have multiple people on our team that will work with each location to make sure that everyone is feeling confident and comfortable in what they're offering to their patients and fully understanding our product. So that 45-minute Zoom training for their staff, and then they're live. And we can usually get all of that done in about 3 to 5 business days.
Okay. Excellent. So 1 hour and 5 minutes to set up, and then additional training of 45 minutes per, no?
That's total. Yeah.
That's total. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yep. So 15 minutes just for the quick demo, 5 minutes to create the account, and then about 45 minutes for that Zoom call for the staff. So everything all together, it should be about 1 hour, 5 to hour and 10 minutes.
Okay. Wow. That's fast. Now, I love one thing that you said is that you have a couple different people assigned to the office. So that way, if someone's on vacation, they have another person they're comfortable with that they can speak to. And that's a huge problem I find with financing companies. Like, so-and-so's not here today. They'll get back to you on Tuesday. And you're like, no, I need help right now. So thank you, Cherry, for doing that.
Yes, you got it.
Yeah. Now, what's the minimum amount that you guys approve? Like sometimes they'll say you need to be over 500 or 1,000. What's the minimum amount that you approve for financing?
Minimum amount is $200.
Okay. And then the maximum amount you guys approve for financing?
$35,000.
Okay. A little bit of a variance there.
It's a good one. Well, we want to make sure we can help everybody, right? There's so many offices that are doing all on fours, larger treatment plans. We want to make sure we can help those patients. But then you've got people that really, truly can't even afford a $200 filling. So we need to be able to help everybody.
Yeah, I love that, because it is one of the saddest moments I have is when a patient I know is in the chair and they need a $200 filling and they tell me I don't have the ability to afford that right now. And it's just, it's a kick in the groin, right? It's hard when patients are in that situation because you want to help them. And I love that most dentists, they have that heart. They want to help. And this is another means of helping your patients. All right. So hour and 5 minutes to set up with the training. You're assigned a person specifically, to your office. You finance anywhere from $200 to $35,000. How many days does it take for the funds to arrive into the business account of the office?
1 to 2 business days. So literally all we do is transfer the funds from our account into your account. You get paid in full minus the merchant fees. So we take the merchant fees out before it even hits your account.
All right, very nice. All right, now do you do a soft credit check or a hard credit check?
Soft credit check only, and we never turn into a hard credit check. So even after the patient starts using us, it remains a soft credit check.
Yeah. And just go into why that's important because I think they need to understand that.
Yeah, absolutely. So the difference between a soft and a hard credit check is going to show up on the patient's credit score. So it will say exactly who checked their credit, and it will also ding the patient's credit score by a few points on average. So it will affect the credit score as well. A soft credit check, how that works is it only shows up to the person. So like if I were to have a soft credit check on my own credit, when I log into my credit report, I can see the check that happened as a soft credit check, but nobody else can. So if I go to buy a car or anything like that, no one's going to see that my credit was checked with a soft credit pull, and the soft credit check will not affect the actual score of my credit. So in today's economy, COVID really messed a lot of things up, right? There's a lot of people struggling with their credit scores. They don't want credit checks done. A soft credit check is not going to affect their credit score.
Fantastic. I love that. Now, what type of financing as far as monthly payments do you guys offer?
You got it.
Yeah.
So offices can offer anywhere from 3 to 24 months interest free to their patients. So we do 3, 6, 9, 12, 18, and 24, all with interest free. And then we do 36, 48, and 60 months, all with interest. So the office they still have that power to choose how long they would like to offer interest free to their patients, anywhere between 3 and 24 months.
Okay, so that's nice. So the office has control of if they want to offer more interest for just 1 year or 6 months. So that gives them a lot of control because now if they choose, let's say 18 months, what happens then as far as the fee to the practice? Is it larger than at 6 months?
Correct. So the longer you offer interest free, the higher the merchant fee will be for the practice. And then if you don't offer interest free, the patient will still. So I know with a lot of third party financing companies, the patients are only shown interest free options. But with Cherry, we choose to show them every option, even beyond interest free. And the reason for that is because we don't know what that patient's monthly budget is, and neither do you, right? And it's not fair for us to choose what we're going to show that patient. We need to be giving them every single option available so they can choose something that is healthy for them and within their budget. So if a patient chooses to do a with interest bearing loan, the merchant fee is lower because the patient's also paying interest.
Okay. I love that you give them the option, like more options. So that's really valuable for the patients because sometimes having it $30 more a month is enough for them to say no to treatment. So that's nice that they're in control of what their budget is and what it looks like. So that's awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's say several other questions actually. So is there a fee to the patient to sign up?
No, there's no fee to the patient to sign up.
All right. And is it a revolving round of credit? So let's say a patient does, $12,000 worth of treatment, and then they need another 6,000. Do they take out a separate loan? What does that look like?
Yes, so it's not no, it's not a revolving amount of
Right.
credit. So if they take out a loan, let's say they're approved for $20,000. If they take out a $10,000 loan, they'll have $10,000 remaining. And then when they're paying off that first $10,000, that doesn't become available again. They would have to reapply if they need more funding. But if they take out a secondary loan, so let's say I were to take out $10,000 today and I had been approved for 20,000, and then I take out a $5,000 loan in 2 weeks. I cannot combine those loans. Those loans stay separate. Okay. Do you want me to explain why third-party financing companies usually will not combine loans?
Go ahead, go for it so we can increase our understanding.
Absolutely. Okay. So let's say, for example, I come into a practice and I take out my first loan today, April 4th. okay, for $10,000. And then let's say I come in June, on June 10th, and I take out a loan for $5,000. Okay. And let's say I chose 12 months interest free for both of these loans. What would happen for us in order to combine them? We would either be punishing the patient by saying, okay, we're going to move your June loan and combine it with your April loan, but now you get 2 months less to pay off that June loan, right? Because you chose 12 months interest free, but if we combine it with the April loan, that brings you to 10 months because 2 months has already passed. So that would be a punishment to the patient, which isn't fair. Or if we take that April loan and we move it to the June loan, then that's a punishment to us, right? Because you've agreed to do 12 months interest free for both loans, but now we've just increased the amount of time that that patient has to pay on that April loan by 2 months. So we don't ever combine them because there's really not a fair way to do it. So what we do allow the patients to do at Cherry is if they take out two separate loans, they can call in and request for the payments to be taken out on the same day. So they would still have two separate charges, but they can all come out. Like if they're like, oh, I get paid on the 15th of every month, can I please have all of the charges taken out on the 15th? They can absolutely do that.
Oh, that's really nice. All right. So that brings me to like the patient portal and how easy it is to access. So let's talk about that for a little bit for the office and for the patient.
You
So,
got it.
yeah.
So our whole mentality is make everything as simple as possible. We don't want to waste anybody's time, right? Time is a valuable thing. So what we do is everything can be accessed through a URL. So practices literally just type in practice.withcherry.com and that is their dashboard. So they can pull it up on any computer, any cell phone, any tablet within the office. The patient is just patient.withcherry.com. So that's all the patient has to type in, and then they'll log in with their login that they created, and they can access their account, see everything, change credit card information. They can even attach their bank account if they'd like, and they can change the date that their payment comes out. And our
Wow.
support is always available as well. So if they ever have questions, there's a chat button, a call button, they can give us a call.
The 24/7 support on Cherry?
Not 24/7, but we are open 7 days a week, and we are open
Okay.
pretty late because we're a fully remote company, so we've got people working in every single time zone. So we're even open for like Pacific Standard Time offices later in the day.
Okay. So let's go into a little bit of the application process and
Mhm.
for the patient and how long that takes, what the portal looks like to the office.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so application process is incredibly fast and simple. It is 30 to 60 seconds. Patients can apply on any electronic device. So you can send them a text message link, an email link. We will give the offices QR codes that they can have the patient scan. And most offices besides Illinois and New York can all apply with the patient in office. Illinois and New York passed a law in January that those offices can no longer apply with patients in office. So we
Interesting.
just have to follow. Okay.
Okay. So, and then the portal can the office see if they've been approved or not? Like if a patient has applied and what percent they're approved of or amount? Go ahead. Let me hear
Oh
that.
my gosh. This is one of my favorite things. So my
Mhm.
biggest frustration for just being in dentistry is never knowing what's going on with my patients. It's such an awkward conversation when you're like, "Oh, I gave you this information to fill out with this third-party financing company. Did you do the application?" You have no clue what's going on. But with Cherry updates you on everything. You will know when you send the patient application, you will know if they started the application, you'll know if they got approved, if they got denied, when their application expires. You will know every single step of the way, even if you have a patient that's never come into your office. If you post Cherry on your website and the patient is a new patient and they apply through your website, you'll get that notification in your Cherry dashboard and it will tell you, hey, so and so applied. Here's their phone number. This is what they were approved for. So you can call them and say, hey, Ashley, we've never seen you as a patient here. Let's get you in for a consultation. You've already been approved for payment plan with Cherry.
All right. Very cool. Brings up two more questions for me.
Okay.
So Cherry will help put that link on the landing page of the office.
Absolutely. Yep. We will help and assist with putting everything on your website. We also have social media templates. So we will give you all of the templates to post us on your social media with snippets as well.
Okay. And that you kind of started answering my next question is, do you train? Money is hard, right? It can
Mhm.
be very emotional, very challenging. So do you arm the practice, especially the front office, the people who are presenting the treatment plan with verbiage to help them have those challenging money conversations?
You got it. Absolutely. So we are a complete white glove service. So we truly, like, if a patient or an office, I should say, needs help with any kind of scripting, anything like that, absolutely, we are there. And we even do that in that first phone call. Like, hey, how are you presenting financials right now? Do you proactively present it? Do you reactively present it? Right? Payment plans are more of a proactive approach. Like, you want to be having those discussions. We give you a payment estimator on our dashboard as well, so that you can print that with every patient. It breaks everything down. So payment plans are really about what's the full price? What could the price be? Right? That's how we're seeing more patients move forward and more offices increase their case acceptance with Cherry, is because they're presenting that payment estimator and showing their patients, hey, you could either pay the full $2,000 today, or you could have payments as low as $75 a month, right? Whatever it comes out to be. So yes, we are there 100% of the way. If the office needs help with anything, scripting, hey, this was the comeback that the patient had. Like, how would you recommend go forward with this patient? Absolutely. Please call us. We are there to guide you.
Yeah, and I love that we can present unique circumstances to Cherry, because too often we get these really tender and humbling circumstances with the patient where they've lost their job, they've been diagnosed with cancer, they need to get treatment done, but we want to help them. They do stand, we have to do these things for sure to keep them out of pain. How do we have this personal, almost, if you will, intimate conversation without coming off over the top, but also showing concern? So thank you so much for doing that, because being able to have that feedback arms the practice with opportunities to help the patients with where they are. So that's fantastic. I love that. All right. Now, let's see. So you said 30 to 60 seconds for a patient to be approved. Is that right? Oh my
You
gosh.
got it.
All
Yes.
right. All right, now we're going to get down to some of the nitty gritty, if you will. All right, if a patient misses a payment, what happens?
Okay, so if a patient misses a payment, we do not do deferred interest. Okay, so I'm going to give a few scenarios here. So if a patient misses a payment with other third-party companies, so just because I feel like deferred interest is very confusing for people to understand, what happens is, let's say I come into your office and I take out 12 months interest free. If I am late for a payment, miss a payment, or do not pay off that agreed amount of loan in that agreed amount of time, so that 12 months interest free, most other third party companies will charge deferred interest. So they say, ha ha ha, you missed payment number 10. We're going to charge you interest from this payment forward and all the way back to day one.
Yeah, the
Okay.
retroactive. Yeah, retroactive
Correct.
interest.
Yes.
Yes, it's a
You
killer.
got it. It's awful. Okay. So we
Yeah.
do not do that to our patients. So we do not want to punish a patient for something they already paid us for on time. Why would we do that? Okay. So if a patient comes in, same scenario, they do 12 months interest free. Let's say they miss payment number 10. We will charge them interest from the missed payment forward. So they'll see interest on 10, 11, and 12, but we will never charge them interest on month 1 to month 9. We will not punish them for something they paid us for on time.
Oh, that's fabulous. That is so powerful. And it shows almost, if you will, a better heart of the financing side. So that, thank you for doing that for the patients, because I've seen that with other credit financing third party companies, and the patient is very frustrated because they have been on time. And yeah, it was month 11 and they missed it, and they got sucker punched, if you will, by the whole interest amount, and they had not anticipated that happening. So that's really, really valuable. And it keeps a positive rapport with the patient and in the practice and the financing company, which is not easy. So that's really, really important. All right. So you said that you go up to 24 months, same as cash. Is that right? Or the practice can choose to go up to 24 months?
You got it. So it's all in the practice's hands, right? We put the power back on the practice. And really, why we do that is because we also don't want the practice to ever be sticker shocked by their fees, right? We want them to know, like, this is what you'll be charged if the patient chooses this length of time interest free. So, there are some practices that are like, we don't like to offer beyond 12 months interest free. So we don't want to force a practice into doing anything that they're not comfortable with. So yes, we do offer out to 24 months interest free, but it's up to the practice on if they would like to also offer all the way out to 24 months interest free. So they can set it up however they want. So just as an example, if the practice says, I only want to offer out to 12 months interest free, the patient would see 3, 6, 9, and 12 months as an interest free option. And then they would see 18, 24, 36, 48, and 60 months, all with interest calculated into their monthly payments as an option.
Okay. So can you give me like an idea of what the fee to the practice if they choose 6 months, 9 months, 12 months? What does that fee to the practice look like?
You got it. So we are on average about 1 to 2% lower than our competitors across the board when you start with us. But we do something called tiered pricing or volume discounts. So the more you use Cherry, the more you save with Cherry. So we can save you up to 4% from our other competitors, okay, across the board total. So I don't like to quote fees and be like, this is your final fee, because it's not, right? The more volume you do with us, the more you're going to save with us, okay? But from the start, we are going to save practices about 1 to 2% across the board on all merchant fees.
So how long is that introductory period for that? Yeah.
You got it. Like, how does the tiered pricing, the volume
Yeah.
discounts work? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have 3 tiers. We have bronze, silver, and gold.
Okay.
So our bronze tier is going to save offices 1 to 2% across the board on most competitors. Okay. When you hit silver, what it requires is that you do an average of $15,000 a month with Cherry to hit silver tier, and then an average of $30,000 a month with Cherry to hit still gold tier. Sorry. How we don't do it month to month because dentistry is up and down and up and down and up and down, right? September can be slow, December can be insane. So we don't do it month to month. We do it every 6 months. So every July and January 1st, we take a look at the last 6 months, take your total volume you've done with us and divide it by 6 to see what your monthly average was for the last 6 months. And then we bump you into whatever tier you qualify for, and we lock you in until the next 6-month evaluation date.
Okay.
Okay. When you first partner with us, though, we do the initial, it's kind of like a trial period, right? We do the initial evaluation after 2 months. So if you qualify for a higher tier after 2 months, we bump you to that tier, lock you in until the next evaluation date, whichever is closer, July or January 1st. And then we will actually retro you the difference of the fees back. Okay.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. That's really nice because so it's $15,000 a month for the bronze, right? On doing that
For
retro. Yeah, go
for
ahead.
silver to reach silver, and then
Oh,
30,000 to reach gold. Yep. So everybody starts on the bronze tier plan, which will save you about 1 to 2% compared to competitors. And then if you reach silver, that will save you 2 to 3%. And then gold will save you 3 to 4% compared to our competitors.
You make sure the front office understands that okay, because that's yeah, go ahead. Let's
Yes,
talk about that.
yes. Yes, absolutely. It is a lot. So whoever we speak to in that first phone call, we thoroughly explain this. And then we explain it to the teams as well when we do the training, like, hey, the more you offer Cherry, the more you use us, the more your office is actually going to save with us. And then on our dashboard for the practice, we actually have a little chart, and it's really cool because it says bronze, silver, and gold all lined up. And then it has a little line, and it's kind of like a little chart, right? And it tracks like, okay,
Yeah.
this is the date you have to reach silver or gold tier by, and this is how much volume left you have to do. And as you have transactions come through, that little line will kind of move to the next tier that you're reaching. So anyone can go on the dashboard and check and say, okay, how close are we to silver tier? How close are we to gold tier? And see what volume they need to do to reach that and what date by.
Yeah. So it's not the amount of people that apply, it's the amount of people the dollar amount is what it was.
It's correct. So you can have one patient, right? If we're working with an office that does a lot of all on 4 cases, they can have one patient a month check out with Cherry for $30,000 and they stay in gold tier, right? And they're reaching gold tier. So, and then you have an office that does a lot of ortho cases around $5,000. They have 3 patients a month, they're on silver tier. They have six patients a month, they're on gold tier.
Yeah. Awesome. I like that it has that benefit. And you guys work a lot with specialty offices? Like, tell me a little bit about that.
Absolutely. We work with everybody. So we work with general dentists, we work with prosthodontists, we're working with oral surgeons, maxillofacial. Another really huge benefit about Cherry is that we will also fund sleep apnea devices, mouth guard devices for sleep apnea. There are a lot of third-party financing companies that will not fund those. They'll say they need to go through medical. So that's also great. So if your office is implementing sleep apnea, sleep guards, things like that, Cherry is a wonderful thing to have because there are a lot of dental insurances that won't cover those at all. So patients are getting hit with that out of pocket. So yes, we do all specialties of dentistry, endo, periodontist. We're working with everybody.
Wow, a lot of valuable information. Is there anything that we missed that we should talk about?
I would say my biggest thing with Cherry, and the reason why I'm here with Cherry, the reason why I love working with Cherry is that we're so patient and practice focused. So I always say to my practices when I speak to them, my two main goals is number one, I absolutely despised feeling uncomfortable when I was talking to my patients about financials, right? It's like you said, it's a very sensitive topic. It's very, very hard to talk about financials. I want my patients to feel as comfortable as possible. So it is incredibly important for me to know that the staff that is going to be offering Cherry feels comfortable and confident, right? If you're not confident what you're offering to your patients feel that and they will not move forward with treatment. So my number one goal is helping your staff feel comfortable and knowing how to proactively offer a payment plan solution to your patients. The number two goal of Cherry is to increase the practice's case acceptance. That is the whole goal, right? If we do that, then more patients are moving forward, more patients are getting healthy. So on average, Cherry is seeing about a 25 to 30% increase in case acceptance if it's proactively offered to patients within that
Wow,
office.
that's a huge jump in case acceptance. That's amazing.
Huge. Yes. Yes. So, like, I just want offices to know we're not like other third party companies where we're just trying to make money the easiest and fastest way. We truly care. We truly want to be there for you and your practice and your patient base. We truly want to get people moving forward. The other thing I think is very important is we will approve patients with a significantly lower credit score. So,
Thank
most,
you. That's something I wanted to
yes,
ask about. Yeah. So can you give me an average, an idea, like what that looks like?
yes. You got it. So on average, most third-party companies will not approve below a 640 credit score. So that's really where most of them are. Cherry will approve patients all the way down to the low 500 credit scores.
And the fee for a patient with a lower credit score, that goes to the patient, not to the practice. Right.
Yes and no. So we do two categories of patients. We do prime credit patients and subprime. Prime credit patients is anyone with a 630 credit score and above. So those patients will qualify for 0% APR and they can qualify for up to $35,000. Okay. And then subprime credit patients with Cherry is that 629 credit score and below down to those low 500s. They will not see 0% APR options, but they'll still have payment plan options with interest. And the practice fee is what most offices are paying to offer 12 months interest free with care credit. Okay.
Okay. Okay. All right.
So it's not significantly higher. We really try to make it so that you're never paying more than other services in any category. Okay. So that practice fee is still not significant enough to make it so like practitioners are like, oh, we don't want to offer that because we can't turn that off, right? So due to the Fair Lending Act, we have to be able to supply funding to every credit score that we can approve. Okay. So like practices can't say, oh, we want to turn off subprime credit approvals. We can't do that.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you can't, all right. So you still has to, you can choose who gets interest free or not, or like, sorry, how many months go interest free. But as far as someone below subprime, that's not an option that's available.
Correct, right. Just due to the Fair Lending Act, because that would be discriminatory lending. We can't turn it off because then you're saying, oh, I don't want to lend to a certain specific kind of people, right?
Yeah.
So we can't once we say we approve down to the low 500s, any office that signs up with us, they have to be okay with it, having us approve those patients. But why wouldn't you? Because those are the patients that don't get approved through other services. And I always try to explain to offices, You've put in the work. You did the consult with them. You took the x-rays with them. You spent the time to diagnose them and make their treatment plan. And now your staff just spent 45 minutes in the consult room going over the treatment plan for them to walk out because they can't afford it. So would you rather take a little bit of a hit in merchant fees and have that patient move forward, or would you have that patient walk out and not make any production on that patient? Right? We're there to help our patients. We want to be able to help them.
Yeah. So what does that merchant fee look like for those below 629 to the lower 500s? Can you give us an estimate on that?
For the office?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yep. So that subprime fee would be that 9.9%.
The office. Oh, well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. So like I said, we try to keep it fair so that it's not any higher than what they're paying with our competitors for other categories.
Yeah. No, I've seen 12.9 and 13.9 in some other categories there. So, I mean, it seems when we say 9.9, we're like, wow, that seems like a lot. But when we look at competitors, I have seen 13.99 before and 12.99 more consistent.
Yeah. You got it. And so our big thing is, like I had said before, our number one goal is to increase your case acceptance. So if Cherry can increase your case acceptance by 25%, that 9.9% fee, like that is not going to make or break you, right? We're increasing your overall case acceptance. So we're increasing the production overall that you're making, right? And that's really what I try to express to offices is it's like that subprime category of patients is only 10% of patient base anyway. So you're not going to see subprime approvals as nearly as often as you see prime approvals, and our prime approval rates are lower than that. Right. So that is just for those subprime patients. So you're not going to see that fee very often.
All right. So subprime, you see that saying that that's about 10% of patients. And then people above that, what percent of patients are applying that are in the regular, the prime come in? Do you know does that make sense what I'm asking?
Yep. So that would be the other 90% of patients
90%.
are in that prime.
I just wanted to like, I didn't know like how many dangle at the very end, that don't get approved.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to clarify that for sure. So, all right. Very good. All right.
Right. So we do have people that won't get approved. So it's just when they do get approved, the other 90% of them will be prime credit, right? So our approval rate nationwide is 75%.
Good to know. All right, 75%. That's good to know. All right, that's amazing. As I said, I love what Cherry does and how they serve the patients, but also the practice. Because when we do that, when the patients win, the practice wins. That's what we're here for. That's why we do what we do. And I think it's fantastic. Anything else, Ashley, we should talk about?
I think we've nailed everything. I think we've gone through it all the important stuff for sure.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for joining me today and have a fantastic day.
You as well, Alicia. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate you also.